Hi, I'm Senator Sheldon Whitehouse. I represent the ocean state of Rhode Island, and I hope you'll take a look at this less than 5-minute video of what sea level rise means for our shores. Early explorers found Rhode Island's coastline looking much like it does today. Before then, it looked much the same for centuries to the Narragansetts and Wampanoags who lived here. While the Industrial Revolution brought our nation great wealth, it also created man-made pollution that began changing our climate. Climate change causes sea levels to rise. This rate is expected to accelerate, and the long familiar outline of Rhode Island will change. This is the present Upper Bay, including Providence, down to Greenwich Bay in the west, and Mount Hope Bay to the east. This is the same image, showing what our Coastal Resources Management Council now predicts: 9 to 12 vertical feet of sea level rise by century's end. The bright blue color you see is land that gets covered by 10 feet of sea level rise, and the teal is how 12 feet will further encroach on our shore. Rhode Island becomes an archipelago. This is Newport. The historic harborfront floods, and western Newport becomes a new island with its own little Castle Hill Island sitting just offshore. Goat Island virtually disappears. The end of Point Judith and the tip of Little Compton break off from land to become new small islands. This shows the Portsmouth shore on the west and the Tiverton shore on the east. A big chunk of Tiverton near Fogland Point gets carved off into a new island, and Nonquit Pond becomes ocean. Warwick Neck, shown here east of T.F. Green Airport, becomes Warwick Neck Island. And across the bay from Warwick Neck Island, Warren and Bristol on the right of the screen become an island and get several of their own new islands. Much of Barrington at the top of the screen disappears. Remember, all that blue is now land. In downtown Providence, Storm Tools lets us watch the water creep in and take over the city. The blue marks the Woonasquatucket River and Water Place Park at 3 feet of sea level rise. Downtown begins flooding at 5 feet of sea level rise. Then at 7 feet, our former worst case scenario, downtown floods more. And then 10 feet. And then our new worst case scenario of 12 feet. If we use Google Earth to zoom in to street level, we can see what these scenarios look like in 3D. Here's downtown Providence, with the water hitting the second stories in the city's landmark buildings. The stairs of City Hall are underwater. Here's a view looking over the Providence skating rink, toward the flooded Biltmore and the convention center. Memorial Park, bridges crossing the Providence River, and some of RISD's campus are also washed out. And that's just with what's called bathtub flooding, not storm surge or high tides. Looking ahead at this coastal threat, the massive government-backed home loan mortgage corporation, Freddie Mac, has predicted the economic losses and social disruption may happen gradually, but they are likely to be greater in total than those experienced in the housing crisis and Great Recession. It's not just the government warning. The editor of the trade publication Risk and Insurance published an article calling this a growing and alarming threat, that continually rising seas will damage coastal, residential, and commercial property values to the point that property owners will flee those markets in droves, thus precipitating a mortgage value collapse that could equal or exceed the mortgage crisis that rocked the global economy in 2008. Nowhere is climate change more evident than in our oceans and coasts. Nature won't wait for our politics to sort themselves out. The changes in our oceans are real and they are measurable. They follow the laws of biology, of chemistry, and of physics, and they will hit the businesses and families along our Rhode Island coasts. Remember, you can make a difference. Please get involved.